This video is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, where you can find cool stuff in stock.
Hello, and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, today in the arena. I'm feeling so strong on ladder, and you know what? All those Eldraine cards and all of those broken decks that are just haven't changed at all, like Mono Red Rogues and Emergent Ultimatum, they don't scare me. I'm kind of bored with beating them. I beat them so easily. I've decided I can basically play a commander deck, a brawl deck, and I'll still win. That's what I'm gonna do. Check it out. It is Lutri the Spell Chaser, Dimir Control. There are so many good cards and removal spells and things that you can play in your control deck right now that I don't even need multiples. I can just run one of them, and it makes a lot of the choices so much easier. And you'll see that this deck is broken into these nice even little curve piles that I've separated, where over here we have the land, yay, and then here we have kind of all the counter magic with Duress as an honorary counterspell, Divide by Zero as an honorary counterspell, and then here we have a whole pile of good sharp removal spells to just make the opponent's creatures go bye-bye. And then here we have a pile of just card draw and hand smoothing that just really makes sure that we have the right cards at the right time. And then over here we've got the win cons. We got Ashiok, Shark Typhoon, we've got Professor Onyx, Lockmere Serpent, Alrund's Epiphany, which, by the way, Lutri, unlike Expansion Explosion or some of the other cards that have a limit on what you can copy, Lutri the Spell Chaser, the Elemental Otter, the Companion slot, which requires us to play one of each non-land card, that they all have a different name, it can copy any instant or sorcery. Doesn't matter the size, as long as I cast it. And that means we can copy Alrund's Epiphany, which is probably my favorite go big copying item, although any of the card draw spells and removal spells are sweet too. And then we also have an Ugin, the Spirit Dragon. In the mana base, the blue and black lands that you'd expect, with the new land being the Biblioplex. We did a Dimir Biblioplex deck before, and this one certainly wants to make use of the crazy huge library as well. Occasionally, seems like fun. The Learn board. We have one Learn card. It's Divide by Zero. We may as well have access to good cards like Mascot Exhibition, Confront the Past, which can get back a Planeswalker in this deck because we run a couple. Introduction to Annihilation can kill a pesky enchantment or artifact. Pest Summoning can gum up the board. Teachings can draw some cards. Sciences. There's no reason to run two of any. You'll see, like, I run two Environmental Sciences and I run like two Mascot Exhibitions in some of my decks. There's no reason to run two because we only have one Learn card in the whole deck and no way to really get it back out of the graveyard. So there's no reason to run multiples. We may as well have a variety pack. Is this deck actually good, though? That's what you really want to know. I will tell you, warming up with this deck, I wasn't sure that it would perform. I went 4-0 in my first 4 games on ladder. So we're picking it up with a 4-0 already in the bank, and we're going to see how it goes for the rest of the day. Does it cool off from there or not? I didn't record those games. I just wanted to test, you know. Honestly, I was on my iPhone. That's why I didn't record. But like, I was like, whoa, is this deck actually legit? So we're going to have to make a video with it. Usually when I make a video with a Lutri companion, people don't watch. They do not believe in the Otter. There's no way it is optimal, but this one might be. We'll see how it goes, and we'll run down the stats at the end of the show after showing you the most interesting games I can find and record here today. So, say a quick prayer to keep the misplays away. It's been a curse lately. I can't seem to make a video without a bad misplay, and some of them are just misclicks, some of them are brain farts, and some of them are straight up like, what was I doing? So, I'm wishing for a good day today. This happens to me. Every now and then I get in a slump where I make a misplay every day for a week, and then I usually recover and get back to myself quickly, but there's always a lot of comments about how I'm falling off and I'm bad and things like that. So you guys can all go shove that straight where the sun doesn't shine, because I'm not messing up today. Not gonna. Today's video is dedicated to Preacher on Patreon. If you haven't been to my Patreon lately, you may want to check it out. Link in the description. There's some updated tiers, including a tier where I will play one of your decks once a month here in a video. You guys get to send me a list, and I pick out my absolute favorite, and you'll get a video built around it. So go check out the Patreon if you haven't seen it in a while. The tiers have been updated. You also have another tier where you get access to the Discord channel that has my deck lists a day early. Also, shout outs or video dedications starting at the $9.99 tier, and expressed version of that at the $29.99 tier. So, thank you very much, Preacher, for supporting on Patreon. Let's get something sweet in the store to dedicate to your awesomeness. Which cosmetic is you? Into the deals we have. I could get Blex, but I don't plan to play Blex. I think this card's bad. I'm not a big fan of Deadly Brew. Let's get the Reduced to Memory. It's made a lot of the cuts in the boards, and I'm sure it'll come in handy. So there you go. Thank you very much, Preacher, for being a patron. Let's dive in. Let the nonsense begin. All right, we'll keep it. We got removal spells. We're probably against aggro. We're on the play for the first time ever with the deck. We were 0 for 5. And it's a Fireblade Charger. Yep, let's go. Let's go. Nothing. Sweet. We can wait. The Charger doesn't scare me. Slow and steady. A Bone Crusher Giant. Epic. And let's just hold. We're gonna get to use the Essence Scatter probably. Oh yay, we get to deploy a tome. Ooh, I love my Maze Mind Tome. That sweet, sweet life. Those sweet, sweet cards. Here comes the Annex now, or the Torbrand. What you got? Fervent Champion. Robber of the Rich? Rimrock Knight. Wrecked. Got him. -1 Rimrock Knight. What we got? Maybe a sweet, sweet card? Yes, but we don't have the land. It's still a sweet, sweet card. Let's keep it. And next turn, I think I'm going to Bloodchief's Thirst the Champion, buy the Lutri, and then dig for land with Tome. There's always another giant. Not really the card you want to bounce with your Ashiok either. Kind of unfortunate that they had another one ready to go. They want to make it hard. Okay, I'll keep an Eliminate. It's fine. It shuts down their whole turn, so let's see if we draw a land here, and it might be a tapped one, so we go for it. All right. What else you got? I've got a removal spell for every occasion. Robber of the Rich. Stealing? Divide by 0. Well, you can cast it on my Tome if you want to keep me from getting the life. Do you have lessons in your sideboard just in case? Are you that big brain? They're thinking about it. I mean, that's a lot more cards to give me if you can't kill me fast. But if you can't kill me fast, you're failing at mono-redding anyway. This is an absurd amount of time to miss my land drops, isn't it? Oh well. Let's see if they power up the Haven. That's what I really want to intervene upon. They're like, huh, they didn't replay the Tome. They've definitely got something. So let's see what the opponent does here. I guess before that trigger completely goes off now, we'll go ahead and take this out. Now, I could have done this earlier to prevent the trigger, but then the opponent could power up the Haven and attack with it. The 3 is important. Of course, we want the extra life, but it also means they can't Ember Cleave to survive it. Okay, they hit a neutralize they can't use. Good. All right, Torbrand's here. We finally draw land number 5, baby. Now you'll feel my wrath. That's all it took? Okay. Nice. They could have killed the Ashiok with the Faceless Haven, but they ran out of patience. They didn't want to choose between their Ember Cleave and their Torbrand. Okay, this is a weird hand, missing a blue, but we're against Yorion, so I think it's a keeper because we have counter and card draw. And they probably won't put the pressure on us, even though they're on the play. So yeah, we go for this. You have a you for 3 mana can buy a 4/5 Megastar in Yorion. I for 3 mana get an Otter. I can't believe I signed up for this. Whose bright idea was this deck? I could have a Yorion for this mana cost. Alright, so if we foretell next turn, we can Lutri the next turn, and then move into the future. Since we're not under pressure, like spending our mana to pseudo ramp and kind of save mana in the future and have more resources is probably better than holding it open and just drawing a card here and there. All right, 5 mana, what can they do? I guess they could play a Chariot, something like that, but nah, let's go. Come here, buddy. Go ahead, do something. Yeah, that's what I thought. And you missed your land drop? Beautiful. Beautiful. Binding no targets. Now they can target that. Good one, CGB. Top tier. Opponent's impressed too. I'm like, I felt bad for them, okay? I felt bad for them. But we don't have a Yorion, so I mean, this basically did its job. It could be a lot worse. I've made worse misplays recently, actually. All right, so they don't have the land yet. So we could try playing Nightmare, and they have to draw the land for Yorion, but it is risky. Because if they draw the land for Yorion, they get to blow up the Nightmare. And I think my opponents will always draw that land, because that's what my opponents do. When there's something good to draw, they draw it. We could also divide this by 0. What do we do with the rest of the mana? Play this tap Temple. Not very impressive. Play Opt. We could also bounce the Wolf Willow Haven. I like dividing the binding. Make them pay 4 mana again if they want to ramp. And what do we grab? I don't really want them drawing cards. I don't really want the pests. I could discard a card in my hand and draw, but I like them. I'll just take the land. In fact, since we have nothing else to do with 2 mana, let's get this done. I am trying to save the Lutri to copy the Behold, or to copy a counter in a counterspell war. All right, they they drew the land, easy. So I'm very glad we didn't play the Nightmare. We can play it now if we want to counter Yorion. But countering Yorion isn't really the goal. Better to let this expire, then play it. Magic is hard, okay? This way we have the castle available if all we want to do is scry. We know they have a hand full of spells. We're going to need the cards to answer it in the long term. So we need to take our time. This is going to be a war. Okay. So the Drown in the Loch is interesting because the Nightmare exiles the graveyard. So I actually think I need to put it away for now, or I could just draw it and save it. These are both good cards. Yeah, we'll just keep them. Opponent discards a Verdict. We know our top card, so it's fine. Nightmare? Nightmare. Let's get in that hand if we can. Dispute. So we know they didn't have the untapped land for a few turns. So they need, if they top deck exactly an untapped black land, they get to cast Ultimatum. I think I take that chance. Like, I've got to work my way through all this. I have to. They're going to have so many threatening cards. They need exactly untapped black to cast an Ultimatum, or an untapped land to cast like a Kiora Best the Sea God. Although we have Shadow's Verdict, and I'm not that scared if that's all they've got. All right. That's unfortunate. But I'm glad we didn't... I'm glad we paid what we paid. They drew a Triome. Okay. So 4 cards Grave. Can we afford to play a Tome? I think we can. No, they have a Yorion. We're just feeding into their binding if we do that. What are we doing about the Yorion? I don't know. Not much. I guess I can drown it if I get one more card into their graveyard. All right, their hand is unlocked, and we know that they have 5 non-land cards. They top decked another land. They've drawn 2 in a row. A lot of cards that they kept in their opener. And it looks like they're content to stare at me. So, let's be content and stare at them. Let's go for an opt. We don't need to copy it with Lutri. We have Behold the Multiverse someday. That's a better copy. We don't need Flunk. Definitely not a good answer here. Eliminate? Terrible. Terrible. But we'll keep working on it. All right, another land drop would be nice. Those are some powerful cards. They're not lands, though. We're going to be stuck on mana for a little bit. But we have 7. Ooh. I think I have to keep these. They're that freaking good. Ugin is one of the few cards that just can come back from an ultimatum. You just drop it and exile everything they did. But we might get in trouble. We might get in big time mana trouble. I do like these little cat and mouse chess matches, though. This is pretty fun magic for me. So, to you patient types who like to really get deep into a battle, a back and forth war, a haymaker versus haymaker. I hope you're enjoying yourself. And for those who think that this is taking forever, there's 2x speed. Don't ever forget. All right, the opponent is mindful of the insane amount of counterspells we probably play. So they make a 2/2 with the Haven to try to pressure us, but we have the otherwise dead Eliminate to kill it. So I'm pretty happy with that. And now we need to draw land. If we don't, we can discard Shadow's Verdict. Okay, perfect. More patience. More patience. All right, we do want more lands, so let's leave the passage where it is. Perfect. We'll draw the land. We can foretell the epiphany so we don't have to discard and just keep on building up our resources. Eventually, they won't be able to handle it. We can always be prepared to top deck the mighty Ravenlore. I guess if we're going to do that, we should fetch. This doesn't have a limit on it. We can copy Alrund's Epiphany. The ultimate combo here. More lands? Opponent's new strategy is to wait us out. Little do they know how much I'm into that. Alright, am I willing to discard a Shadow's Verdict and get deeper in the deck? No. I don't need to. Biblioplex. Let's go. Yep, Cultivate is fine. Opponent's graveyard is now big enough where Drown in the Lock can hit an ultimatum. Alright. Castle. Test of Talents and another land. Perfect. We'll draw that. Oh no, now we have 8 cards. I can't Biblioplex. What a tragedy. I could Glimpse of Freedom. Just not willing to do it because we're just overdrawing our hand anyway. Don't need you. Can discard a Verdict here. Just reviewing and deciding if that's what I want to do. And I'm just waiting for them to make a move. If they don't, eventually I'll just find some way to, like, drive them crazy. Like a Lockmere Serpent. It just keeps coming down and attacking again and coming down and attacking again. Yeah, they seem perfectly fine waiting, don't they? Nice. At this point, we don't even want to draw these cards. We're just overdrawing our hand too much. So, how do we make them start fighting us? We could play a Shark Typhoon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we have 2 counters left over. Seems reliable. We only get 1 Shark Typhoon, though. Yeah. What you got? What you got? Another Mystical Dispute, huh? Well, we could talents it. I'd rather talents their ultimatum. If they're using the Mystical Dispute on the Typhoon, we can just let this go. It's fine. We'll find another way to torture them. Predation? I don't think so. My hand too good for that. Emergent Ultimatum. We go for the test. See if you have another dispute. No. All right. Nice hand. 3 Heartless Act, 1 Yorion, and a good game. They don't want me looking at their deck. I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna do it. Give me this. No! Oops, my bad. When double clicking goes wrong. On the play, with the Shadow's Verdict in hand. No companion means they're probably aggro, which means negate might be bad, but I still think we play this. The Verdict is enough. Let's find some removal. Yay. In the dark, I'll keep it. So much better on the play than the draw against aggro. Oh, look. It's mono red. Oh my gosh. Let's go ahead and keep open. No, don't keep open negate. Just foretell this. There's no way they're going to play into a negate. If they're going to Bone Crush, they'll do it on my turn. Besides, they have Robber of the Rich. They always have Robber of the Rich. This is mono red. They play mono red, mono red, mono red. Attack face till they're dead. I'm gonna take your Embercleave. It's mine. Okay, missed a land drop. Wow. All right. Deploy your threats, opponent. Let's go. Wow, look at this. Faceless Haven. Hardened in the Forge. We're about to verdict, so we don't care. Let's find some sweet cards, shall we? This is not going to do it here. This is interesting. We're going to have to battle all of their cards somehow, and I think we can make time to draw cards. We're not at that low of a life total. It's a little risky to keep it, because it's definitely not the best against mono red. Ooh. Ooh. Do we play the Ashiok? Because they're going to come out with haste creatures as soon as we Shadow's Verdict. They have a bunch of them. They can play a Hall Monitor, make the 2/3 unable to block and attack down the Ashiok. That's pretty bad. How do I get them to commit more to the board? I have too many counter spells in my hand. I could say go. If I do that... What if they just power up the Haven and draw land? That's the max punish, right? Then I just lose. Yeah, they're going to play at least 2 hasty creatures after the Verdict, and then I'm way behind. I think I've got to deploy my 5-drops over consecutive turns and just try to set up better and better for a big Verdict. Hopefully they just replay the Annex. Usually they replay the Annex, right? That's how they do it. Okay. Another land. Once again, though, I can't get through this turn very well without them deploying a bunch of stuff and keeping me under pressure. But I guess it's just 2 1/1s. And then I'm at 8, and then I'm at 6, and I Gravenlore. All right. It's going to be okay, I think. Double Fervent Champion? Always. Yeah, then, yeah, that makes the clock a lot quicker and it's a lot worse. I shouldn't have kept this Gravenlore. It was so greedy of me. We need a way. We keep on top. Maybe they don't power up their Haven. And we get a chance to Gravenlore, but we're probably dead. Yep. Okay. Down to 1. Cling and Lockmere. Doesn't do it. The life gain is nice, but we still don't have a way to deal with the board. Flunk doesn't do it. I guess that's just game, right? We can't buy this and flunk. We needed a land. Ouchie. All right, should have learned. I need to play my counter spells in that situation, and I need to not keep card draw. I made at least 2 bad mistakes. One was not countering something when I could, and the other was keeping card draw with the Behold the Multiverse. On the play, ugh, that's a bad hand. But maybe the Scrylands will fix it. I'm optimistic for the Scrylands keeping me from flooding and finding me cards that can help. We'll keep a flunk even though it's really not good at this stage. All right, so it hits, right? I think it hits. Yay, get it dead. Looks like the opponent's off to the races. They're having fun. Hopefully we actually get to counter that. Please play that Spirit Summoning. I would love for my negate to be useful. It's very bad in this matchup. Winota. I believe we're against Winota. Allrun's Epiphany. That can get exciting. Test of Talents is terrible in the matchup, so this is a very good scry to the bottom. Could buy Lutri there and set up for the Epiphany, but I might need to bounce a Winota or a Blade Historian. Nope. Yeah, not that, please. So what do we fetch? We do need another land. Let's see, if the opponent doesn't play another card this turn and we play our 5th land after drawing a card, then Teachings is a draw 2. But we really do need to make sure we hit the land drop. I guess Pest Summoning is pretty good here, right? Okay. Gadwick? Gadwick is also an option. So we can Gadwick for 2. Make it really likely to hit our next couple of lands so that we can lock mirror. We can also Pest Summoning and foretell the Allrun's Epiphany. I think I'm going with Gadwick. It also gives us deeper to like a sweeper or something to stop a Winota. If the opponent has Winota right here, they didn't play it last turn. Okay, no land. Get ready to cringe. Smash it. Well, I'm pretty happy with that being how they spend a turn. I could have duressed it, though. Gravenlore. Let's make sure we hit those lands, because apparently we can't do it without cheating. Untap Black lets us duress, which probably doesn't matter because they don't run many things, but it is something to consider. These are all decent cards, but there's no land among them. I guess I do need a way to kill a 4-drop. Still no land. Unbelievable. I guess I could have scryed aggressively for the bottom, but I thought this was too good to turn down. There's the Blade Historian. Let's see where they put the counter. They probably want the damage. Yep. Down to 9, and down to 5. This is down to 1. Still no land. And do you have lethal? Of course you do. Man, what's going on, deck? Why have you forgotten how to magic? All right. Wow, a 6 and an 8 drop in my opener. Thank you, deck. If I was against Yorion, I'd probably keep this anyway because of the negate, but since we're against mono red, don't ask me how I know. I just know. We'll take the mulligan. This is still a bit slow, but we'll try it. They're reading Lutri. Don't worry about it. I'll be dead before I get to do anything with Lutri. That's the way it works. All right. Positive vibes. We're going to be a vibe streamer now. We're just going to have positive vibes, you guys. All right. It's not mono red. I like being wrong sometimes. Whoa. Whoa. What is this? Did somebody make their own deck? No, that's impossible. Nobody does that. I don't think we foretell there. I think we just use the Omen. This hand might be really perfect against them. Let's keep the Eliminate because they probably run Crawling Barons. Although having it in hand might be risky if they have hand hate. Solemn. Well, Essence Scatter it is. I could have also divided it. Maybe that was a good play. Could have helped me hit my land drop. There's the Barons. I hope they don't have too many Barons. I don't have that many Eliminates. All right, so divide, target my Omen, and get the Land Fetcher. They do know I only have one Eliminate, so you might see them just push this Barons. Of course, Baleful Mastery is another new card that hits the Barons. So it's not like I'm ice cold. Oh, they're not attacking? Okay. Giving me time to dig. Not that I need it. Mastery. Is it foretell time? Foretell o'clock? How about Lutri o'clock? None of the above. Let's sit, because we might just activate the castle or sack the Omen to scry. If we play the Ashiok, they'll just find a way to kill it. Ah, you're a Valky gamer. Okay. So we're also looking for ways to deal with planeswalkers. Got it. That seems like a good card. I mean, they're going to keep charging it up. Maybe they're waiting for a duress. Another Solemn? Sure. You get a land. Let's dig. Intervention, not great. Cling, can take out their Cling. Glimpse, not great. Land, unnecessary. Alrund's Epiphany. Shadow's Verdict, actual trash. So, what do you think? If we play an Ashiok, can we defend an Ashiok? They'll probably kill the creature and attack. They'll probably play a 2-mana removal spell on the 2/3. Attack the Ashiok. If they power up the Barons, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they only have 3 mana left over to do something else with. Let's go for it. If we untap with it and cast Alrund's Epiphany, we're in a wonderful position. It's a pretty rude card. It still doesn't bail them out, though. They get one of my counter spells, which they're going to get anyway if I cast it here. So we let this resolve. Man, they are really playing around the 1 Eliminate in the deck. Okay, they're going face. No respect for Ashiok. We could scry. but laying the shields down, maybe they have an instant speed way to kill it. A Soul Shatter. Lockmere Serpent. All right, make a thingy. Pity. I think it's a pretty big mistake that they didn't go after the Ashiok, but if they have that Soul Shatter, it hits right here. I still think we make this play for sure. What's in exile? Just that. But we do have our Cling. We also have a Serpent if we can get their stuff into exile. It's pretty sneaky. Ooh, I can exile their Solemn, let them draw a card, and then we can get that. That's not great. Well, I would like to pass the turn to myself. Thank you. Let's see what we exile before we decide whether or not to minus this. Murderous Rider, Heartless Act. We got some thinking going on. All right, well, they didn't get me last time. These cards are okay. If we put a card in our graveyard, we can cling one of these. That's not that impressive. Let's just keep going up. They get to attack my hand, but it's not going to fix much for them. They can take one of the counters. They can take the Eliminator, the Mastery. Either way, I've got the answers in duplicate to what they're trying to do. This is not the hand they want to see. Blood Chief's Thirst. Okay. Rar? Hi. The Serpent is here. The removal spell. 3 mana. We can also just mastery this. Give the opponent a card. Now that they're kind of low on mana, I think I like it. This can die. We can't get it back. We do. This Nightmare is going to hurt it. Anyway. They get a card if we kill it by other means anyway. So, playing the Baleful Mastery cheap isn't the worst thing. And they have Murderous Rider. Okay. Can't be blocked. All right. Knew they had something. Kind of annoying there. Oh well, that's life. Plenty of cards to go. We'll go ahead and get a card out of this before our graveyard gets eaten. Might as well do it now and we might hit a land. Might need double counter from Stroke and Saw It Coming, so we may as well hang out. I'm not afraid of that robot. Come on now. Let's scry. I will copy, or at least I plan to copy Behold the Multiverse with the Lutri. I think I've got time for that. Hit ya. Maze Mine Tome, okay. You get cards, I get cards. If they attack with the rider, we block with 1 bird and 1, 2, 3. If they blow it up, it's kind of sad. But they do use another instant speed removal spell. Okay, so Behold the Multiverse and Lutri. It's gonna feel good. It's gonna feel so good. Those are cards. One is like a whole bunch more cards. Oh baby, sure. This is not bad. Weird thing is I can't get my otter through, but I can attack with these birds. Just wait. Hold on. There we go. It just occurred to me. I can do this and not discard. Big brain. A little bit of foretell. Nice and chill though with the Ugin. Our opponent's probably trying to set up their own Ugin, and they have Valky, so we can't let anything bad happen to Ugin. And it doesn't look like much bad can happen to Ugin, but I like being sure. I really like being sure. I mean, you can charge this up all day. You know about this Eliminate, right? Okay. Epic. So they must have another one? No? What are we doing here? What's the point of us? Yeah. These look like fun Magic cards. All right. Can anything bad happen to Ugin? Don't think so. Good game. Always a lovely sight. We shoot the rider. We can attack with the 2/3 and the birds. Should be able to get the job done. All right. Back on track. Ugh. All right. Do I keep it based on Heartless Act and divide by 0? I guess so. The Epiphany is kind of cringy, and the Duress isn't going to hit anything because it's an aggro deck and they don't know how spells work. We'll keep a Borrower. Bounce spells are good when the opponent is playing things like Selfless Savior and Seasoned Hollowblade. What a gamer. All right. Well, we get to play a Heartless Act. And we'll bounce this later. Remove the counter. That'll be nice. Okay. I'm gonna have to find the Extinction Event or the Shadow's Verdict at some point. Oh, that's not bad. If we can get the opponent to tap low. Might be hard to do. The Duress is basically dead. I might need to check my opponent's hand at some point, but it's not going to do anything. Daxos. Let's try to get our opponent to tap out. If they're going to sack a bounty to protect their 2/2, that's great. If they don't protect it and just replay it, that's great too. If they wanted to sack the bounty to protect the 2/2 here, they don't gain the life. Not that I think that's particularly important, but I had a feeling they'd do that. All right. So, they forgot to attack. That's cool. We take those. A little free gift from our opponent. We could divide by 0 to make sure that we get the card that lets us hit a land. It'll definitely hit right now because the opponent doesn't have the bounty open. They might have a better play that we could react to, but I really don't want this countered by the bounty sacrifice. But I guess if they're going to do that, we can just intervene. But then we don't gain the life if they sacrifice this. Either way, we should act now. I guess I'd really prefer the divide. You know what? Let's say go. This 5 damage is a bit, and I do want to make sure that divide resolves, but if they do nothing... we can't go for the divide. If they sack the bounty, like, I don't think they will. They really like their 2/2 bounty. There's Heliod. Good divide target. We could also divide the Daxos, but then when this hits, they get a counter. But they're tapped out, and then we can untap and Erebos' intervention, but it's not enough. So I guess this is the play. No! No, wrong click! Oh, what the hell? Wrong click. It's one of those days, man. I can't do things right today to save my life. It was supposed to be environmental sciences. And we're punished. Great. Great. Omega cringe. God, if I had a 5th land here, I'd be so much better off. All right, we got to try to get out of it. That's not a bad draw. We need this to resolve. The opponent gets to play the Heliod. Can we flunk the Heliod? We can. It doesn't come in as a creature, so they don't get the counter right away. So we do this now. They can use the Heliod's lifelink ability this turn to grow their Daxos. That's frustrating. We may not have time to kill the Heliod. We may have to kill the Daxos. No lifelink. We take those as well. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. They're all about to turn this on. They probably have another one, though, based on their hand, but any white card turns it on. I think I need to flunk this Daxos. The Teachings does nothing. So let's foretell you. Let's have a look at your hand, which is probably irrelevant, but if we're ever going to cast the Teachings, which we fetched by accident. Oh my gosh, we hit! We actually hit! Oh, I'm a lucky guy. Okay. That feels like the turning of the tide. It's a sign. Alright. Die. Maybe not a sign, okay? Maybe not. Interesting. So that makes a +1/+1 counter, but that one saved the Daxos because it's a -1 devotion. Alright. Alrighty then. Gamer. I think we're in great shape now. So we play the Ashiok. What a ridiculous game this has been. We play the Ashiok. We completely remove the Maul, I think. Because the Heliod's legendary. If they draw another one, it's just stuck. I think the Maul is more important. Next turn, we cast the Elrond's Epiphany, and we get 2 activations, and we gum up the board with 1/1s and 2/3s. And we're doing it. Opponent makes creature. Now we could buy the Lutri, but we're never going to have the mana to do Epiphany and Lutri anyway. That's a draw.
The shadows awaken.
Let's keep one of these back in case of a Sky Maul. Whoa! All right. An Ashiok ultimate is looking like juice. Keep mana open for Lockmere. Luris. No! That's like one of the best draws they could have from the spot. This is annoying little buggers. How are we going to overpower them? And all of our cards are gold. Oh no! That turns on the Heliod. You want to attack? I will show you a Lockmere Serpent. Let me show you my snack. Just kidding. Probably not good advice. Whoa, the 1/1 getting busy. Because blocking, like if their creature dies, they get a life, right? And they want to put a counter on something. Still think it's worth it though. Do we Lockmere for cards? Do we Lockmere for cards? Yep. Behold the verse. All right, if we bounce Luris, we can't counter it because we don't have a counter. So what do we do? They can get back this little critter and give it protection from blue and get through. So still feels like bouncing Luris has to happen, but I guess they can do that on any of these creatures. Maybe we should Behold and see what we find. If we find a Cling, does that help us? No, they have 2 Alseeds. But I guess if they have to spend their whole 5 mana to replay the Luris, then if we find a way to kill it, we're good. But we really should try to look for a way to kill it right now. Cling. I did talk about that. It helps and it doesn't, right? What if my Lockmere ended up in the graveyard? I gotta find a way to do it. All right, I'll take these. Luris, go home.
Surrender every morsel of fear.
Still tough. All right, we want to defend against 2 creatures, and it's probably not going to matter if they use the LC, but we do want to force them to do that. We do want to force that. So, if we want to force it, we need to leave back some creatures that aren't going to end up blocking anyway, so we may as well attack with the strong ones. They take it. All right, so we Cling the Savior because we want to force the opponent to use their Alseed mana to kill the Ashiok. But we don't want to give them a way to... We don't want to give them a way to protect the Luris for free, in case they decided to go that route. Mm-hmm. So, sacrifice Alseed, target Heliod or Daxos, protection from blue, attack the Ashiok is what I'm expecting, but maybe they'll let the Ashiok be and decide to defend their Luris. And we're going to try to use Omen, of course, to find a way to kill that Luris. if the Alcede's in the graveyard, we can go for the Cling. If we find one more land, we can cling away both the Alcedes. Blue, all right. They might go face. Are you a face gamer? Oh ho! And they hold back the Daxos. Interesting. All right. They're going for the lethals. Well, we'll keep a land because we have the line to get rid of the Alcedes. Down to 4 we go. Verdict. Well, I guess that solves a lot of problems, doesn't it? Doesn't it? I mean, Magic is officially on my side again. Yeah, good game. It was pretty close. I'll draw 2. Finally got to use those teachings. Going back to the environmental sciences misclick. Whew. All right. They redeploy some threats.
Creeping, thieving front.
Yeah. Good stuff. And we're back to the 1/1s. They decided to stick it out, but we have taken away all of their options. Whew. Tough game. Mostly, a lot of it self-inflicted, but that Luris almost dragged the opponent to the finish line. Well, guys, I did not succeed in avoiding misplays. I made a few from bad judgment and just not evaluating my position in the mono-red game at all, and I made some pretty bad, I made a really bad misclick against mono-white. So the slump continues. We're just gonna have to train harder, regroup, and come back tomorrow and try to play sharper Magic. But don't tell Paulo. Paulo would be disappointed in me. Anyway, the deck, though, how did it perform? What was the record at the end of the session? And here we go. Jump on in. 10. Okay. All right, guys. 8-5. 61% win rate. Respectable, especially for a singleton deck on ladder. 10 times on the draw, 3 times on the play. And we only won 1 of the games on the play. Oh, ouch. So here's what does concern me. So you might say, but CGB, you played against mono white. Why does it say you're 0-1 against mono white? Because they played a Luris. That's why the white deck that has Luris in it is represented by black and white. Just by the way, this is MTGA Assistant. It is a free companion app for stats and a bunch of other cool information. And you can download it for free if you use the link in the description. It supports the channel. So we got some work to do on getting on the play. I've completely lost my ability to pull that off. But the fact that we put up a 61% win rate with 10 times on the draw and 3 times on the play, I'm going to call that a bit of a win. And I don't think this deck is a complete meme. That said, is it just that blue-black is really good and we should cut the Lutri and instead just like massage the numbers, maybe run 2 Extinction Events, maybe run 2 Shadow's Verdict, maybe focus on a win con? Or is the free card actually good enough and all the other cards are just so good in their own way in the right matchups that we can run a deck like this? I would encourage you to try it. You probably don't have to craft much because singleton decks like this aren't super rare and mythic intensive. There are a lot of them, but there's only one of each. So you've probably unlocked a number of these along the way. Anyway, I think you should try the deck because you're probably not going to have to do much to craft it. Let's also check those meta stats. One of my favorite things to check is the meta. So if you look at constructed best of one, 18% mono red? Come on. Why? Is everybody so bored with standard they have to play mono red? 13% Yorion, holy cow. At least the rogues have gone down quite a bit. Anyway, MTGA Assistant. And this, I can say I have a plus 60% win rate on ladder with a deck that runs a freaking elemental otter and basically plays commander/brawl in constructed. If that's not cool, what is? Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Remember to check out the Patreon. You're cool.
You